So we've all had a bit of a bathroom break. Fortunately, looking at you, Tegan.
Now where you're supposed to.
And but everybody else went where they're supposed to. The entranceway has been cleared of all obstructions by you guys. How are you guys doing?
A little hurt.
I'm fine. I just, everyone else is a little hurt.
okay.
And we don't have any heal spells on.
I'm great.
Someone's still enraged.
I'm fine too.
Okay, well,
Our tank isn't though.
the
Nice.
Give her some soup, maybe that'll help.
Did you bring any of that soup with you?
I've got a wheel of cheese.
the center has been cleared out. So at the far side, you can see some kind of a pool of water. Then there's the stalagmites in the middle. There's that big pool of mud that you're pretty sure there's a dead ogre at the bottom of. There's a place off to the east where you saw the two goblins run away. You're not sure how far they've gotten or where it even goes. There's also kind of in the northeast, there's another area. And then there's a couple exits to this room on the western side of the cave as well. There's a large opening on the back.
Okay. Well, I will gingerly stealth around the outsides, looking for any remnants of treasure or stuff that the goblins might have hoarded and left behind.
Oh, if there is a short sword or a scimitar, I will snatch it.
The goblins do use scimitars, I believe, but they are terrible weapons. Like, they are horrible quality.
We saw the one that he tried to
Yeah, they were not.
The blade came off. So.
accidentally throw at us.
Did you need another weapon, or you just wanted another weapon? Right.
So I thought I could get into the two-hand combat thing and go in melee. I've got decent AC with probably one of the most hit points. So.
There's an option there for it. You can take one.
I'll take one then.
Okay. So a scimitar does a d6. It's a slashing.
Finesse.
So you want me to stealth roll?
Sure. Where are you looking, or you're just
I'm going
the
around the edges where we killed a couple of goblins, kind of poking in the mud to see if there's anything in there with the ogre. Like, the ogres just have big clubs, I assume.
At the center,
Where she burst out.
you see it looks like it's been bedded in the center there. There's hides and stuff. They don't look like they've been cured. They look like they've just been
Ripped off the corpses.
like just hacked
Human
off.
hides?
No, like animal, like bear. There might be a couple coyotes or wolves. Like,
If there was a bunch of fresh human hides, I was going to say, guys, I don't think there's any left in the pits.
Right.
But, okay.
roll medicine. Oh, do you have medicine?
Not as a proficiency.
Don't worry about it then.
Okay.
So yeah, that's about the only thing
Nothing worthwhile.
of value in here are those uncured hides. And you wouldn't need to roll stealth because people would smell you coming.
So I grab those hides. And I take a bath in them
Ew.
to hide my stench.
You're a cat, not a dog.
I'm smart, though. Well, smart in that way, anyways. I know how to sneak. And that is one thing of sneaking.
Now you know how to reek.
Yes, I'm a sneaky reeker.
I want to check out the pool of water at the back of the castle.
So the pool of water, it's a shallow pool of water. It looks like it just run off trickling from the wall of the cave. Do you have medicine?
I do.
What medicine?
8.
It's got an odd sheen to it.
Oh, okay.
You don't really want to drink it.
Okay.
So I suppose survival, you could have rolled that as well.
I'm worse.
Medicine was just fine. Knowing not to drink poison is important to know what poison it is.
I'm resistant to it.
We'll have to take a big gulp.
Limited taste. Maybe you know more.
Not immune, just resistant.
Was there anything else you wanted to look at, or any place you would like to start exploring down?
As a master tracker, I would like to look for the human shuffling footprints.
Roll me your survival.
Keeping on track with my survival ability, it is an 8.
There's been a
No
lot of
humans.
movement around here. Really, the only movements you see are the small goblinoids and
Big
ogres moving around in here, but they're all super fresh. So if the humans came in here a day or two ago, they could all be covered up at this point.
Thank you for justifying my horrible roll. It's
No-
not my fault.
There's
It's
no
because-
bad rolls, only bad role playing.
Oh, there
it's
we
true,
go.
It's true. It's a tough lesson to learn.
Biggest tunnel?
Anything you would like to look at or do? Tova? Sometimes I get stumped on the news.
Is there any possible way of gaining some?
your battle mount.
No? They don't like him?
Oh.
Paladin mount.
Is there any way of stopping the bleeding from this arrow?
I think the best.
Well, it is slowly
It's like
stopped
they were
on its own.
athlete.
I'm not going to
Exactly.
believe that precious
Last
last hit
hit
point
point.
is going to stay where it is.
Any way of gaining hit points?
Short resting.
Short resting is about the only thing at this
Okay.
point.
I think we're out of heal.
I think we're
You're out of
heal.
heals as well as the
I
paladin.
have one.
Yeah. That's a 1 hit point. Hey, then.
Not going to do much, but it will bring someone back from the brink. I think you need to hold them.
I suggest we start searching down corridors. Then
Which corridor do you think you'd like to head down? Northeast?
Follow the ones that left us.
There's-
They went this way.
they went up that way. So
No,
do we want to
correct.
go left?
The
or
ones that
right?
ran away went straight east.
This one or this one?
That's west.
Oh,
went
east.
east.
They went
Oh,
down
they
that way.
went
One
By
of
the
those.
water.
Oh, then maybe we
or
should
just
go
south
left.
of the lower?
And then there's
The one just past the mud pond. Maybe.
Sure.
So you want to go to the large kind of room?
This one?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, the
Okay. The ones that kind of branch off quite a bit.
one that we're all kind of close to, or were close to with you, 2 ogres. The southeast.
So you
corner.
you want to just move the push pin? Maybe that would have been an easier way to explain it.
That would be yes.
So you have moved the push pin here.
Southwest corner.
So these tunnels are very, very cramped. You can see lots of goblin
This is your
No,
moment to
me.
shine.
goblin footprints and whatnot. No, the ogre ones stop abruptly. You don't think they'd even be able to fit down here. Let's roll a doobly-doo. You have to call them doobly-doos because I don't want you to know what I'm rolling. Okay. So as you make your way down the tunnels, you eventually come to what look like grassy pallets or just areas that have been covered with grass and soft leaves and whatnot.
So it looks like living quarters type of thing.
Very much so. It looks like they've been sleeping on these. You can see small goblin-sized circlets of depression on the grass.
Can I search through the
Looking
grass
for
and
goblin
stuff for
trinkets.
You can.
the shinies? So I'll take out my rapier and be poking around and make sure there's nothing in there.
There's no bear traps, that's for sure.
No bear traps.
Digging through it, you don't really find anything of note.
Okay.
It's obvious, though, that something has slept here.
It's obvious that something has slept here.
I can't believe it was so obvious.
If you guys are searching, roll me wisdom perception.
Yay, not 20.
Me too.
Well,
They found it.
they found it. I found them.
Yeah, exactly.
12.
Total 21.
Well, The DC was 15, but the 20s tend to find stuff quite handily. As you're searching around this small bed chamber or sleeping cave, you see small sets of eyes looking out at you from the darkness and around cracks and crevices. And you see very small goblinoids. They would almost seem to be goblin children. Like the regular goblins are small, and these are tiny. Like goblin children, and
Paladin, you need to look away.
Yep, glad we're doing it with you guys.
they
No,
are actively staying away from you as best they can.
See my
But are
centaur
goblin
moves.
children still innocent?
Yes.
Are they though?
Yes.
If I cut you and left you on the ground, would they start eating her?
But that's what
Like
goblins
full-size
eat.
goblins do.
It doesn't make them bad. If I cut you and left you in the woods, a wolf would probably come and eat you. It doesn't make the wolf bad.
Depends on your point of view. If I'm the one getting eaten, the wolf was probably bad.
It's
The
bad
wolf
for
is just eating.
evil. There's some babies in here, you guys. There's goblin babies in the corners.
Yeah.
So when they draw your
Goblins.
attention to it, the rest of you can see the goblins. But
She basically takes
in
her
the
shine.
act of drawing attention to them, they recede further into the cracks and crevices. And even at your small stature, they are getting into places that you couldn't follow. Because like
Problem solved.
you are small and they are tiny, like Tekin-sized, tiny, like very small.
You can still reach them.
What the hell?
Theories.
It's just a suggestion.
Let me check your
They're
alignment
evil.
again.
Helm, give me strength.
Well,
we
we
will
should.
not kill the children.
Turn TV around so we can see how happy dog face.
See this? Don't kill this. These little babies.
It's even got the night eyes.
They, anytime you move towards them, they flee.
Okay.
We're going to leave them alone.
I toss him a wheel of cheese.
I was going to say, I'm going to dig
The
some
wheel
bread
of
in the
cheese
bag.
rolls across the floor, hitting the wall of the cave where they're kind of hiding next to one of the cracks and crevices, and they flee. They're terrified of almost
Oh,
everything.
jeez. They're lactose intolerant.
Oh, I forgot the lactate pills. I'm so sorry, dearies. I
Um,
hope you're fine with the cheese.
Alright, well,
Is there anything else in these caves?
uh,
No.
you find a few small bones as you go around trying to get a better look at the young goblins. You find the bones of small critters, bats, weasels, small prey animals.
alright. It seems to be cleared out other than the small goblins that are going to turn into big goblins one day.
There'll always be goblins.
Uh-huh. And we could eliminate a bunch of them right now.
Oh, you can't kill children.
Exactly. The goblins have their own place in the hierarchy of things.
If you kill all the goblins, who eats all the excessive amounts of weasels and bats?
Other creatures
You ever
that
been
aren't
overrun
evil.
by weasels and bats?
Uh-huh.
So,
Let's get into houses.
whereabouts are you headed now from that
To the
location?
next cave
So I'll
clockwise.
head
Yeah.
to the north, up to the next entrance.
Yep, just the next entrance cave.
So you go there.
As soon as we're in far enough, I'd like to take a look at the water.
Well, that is number.
Sure.
There's water at the back of that cave.
Yes.
Okay. An ankle-deep stream of water pours through a narrow tunnel in the west wall and forms a small pool in this otherwise empty cave. The water doesn't smell good, but you're not thirsty enough to want to drink it anyway. You did not enter undetected overnight. So yeah, the
we
cave
should
itself is
stealth.
empty,
Whoopsies.
other than the stream and the column in the center of the stream. The cave itself is empty. As long as I'm looking at the windows. Yeah. Cool. Did you want to? There's a tunnel going north off of here.
Mhm.
The tunnel towards the back is all underwater. You can't actually get at it or see it. It's just to indicate where the water's coming from. So you could go north, or you could go back out into the center and try other.
Yeah, we'll start heading north.
So heading north, there is an area where it kind of wides and goes towards the side.
Mhm.
So as you get up towards there,
I'm just now seeing the title there beside that room.
Mhm.
Which I shouldn't have looked at that.
how far up there are you going?
But we'll get to the Y and then make a decision.
So we're going all the way up to like here?
Nope. Down.
No, down.
Right there.
Right there.
So that intersection there is a very heavy rock blocking that Y. You can only continue going north. You can tell that this rock has been moved. Something very strong has been able to move it in the past. You can see the scratch marks along the wall and the groove in the floor.
Are there any small enough holes for someone to crawl through?
No,
Oh,
the goblins had to move it somehow themselves.
okay.
They couldn't get through this and be the same size as them.
Can I use my knowledge in stonework to see if I can figure out how they moved it?
Yes,
And maybe that would give someone with strength an advantage.
I was thinking the same thing.
18.
You can quite easily see, whatever it is, you can see that they've planted their feet here and here, and they grab it. It was probably the ogres moving everything. They'd have the strength to do it. And they just turn it like a giant wheel of cheese, and whatever's behind here is being blocked by this
Probably how I'm
almost like a vault door.
Okay.
And if
So I point this out to
you
people.
given whoever would like to try moving it advantage on a strength athletics, you could take it yourself if you wanted to feel tough.
I'll try.
We want to give it a push.
It is not a group roll. Just the size of the boulder, the awkwardness of
What's your athletic?
the angle of it. Only one person is going to be able to try it.
I'm going to go back into the hole a little further.
You didn't want to try moving it.
It might fall over.
Got this.
I mean, she could get underneath whoever's pushing it.
I can just see you laying on your back, pushing with your feet.
Yeah. Well, give it a go.
Natural
Then-
20.
then
I'll
you
let
lose
somebody
it.
else deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You're paladin.
I'll give it a shot.
Roll with the
Advantages?
advantages.
That would be a 23. Or
Okay.
22.
The sound of the rolling boulder is clearly audible through the caves as it crushes and pops small rocks in its path, but it does roll out of the way, revealing, at least by goblin standards, a very nice bedchamber. It has a grassy pallet like you saw before. Around it are hides as well. It's got a rusty, battered-looking wooden chest.
You mean 2?
No.
I didn't tell you I was dragging the other one this whole time.
As a tabaxi with an 8 strength, I'd like to know how you were managing
I
that.
said I was dragging.
Mhm. No, it's back at the inn. But there is a chest here. Did you guys want to take a closer look at the chests?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ren and I are in there like Flint, I think.
This chest, go
Pushing
for it.
everyone aside.
I've got no moral issues
This is
here.
found loot, not
Yes.
owned loot. You get up to take a closer look at the chest. The lock has clearly been broken off.
Huzzah!
So it opens.
Look what I opened.
Exactly. Take credit.
Click, click, click.
The chest contains 12. Or did somebody want to write this down, or I can read it off and give it later. It has a pouch of gold, 12 gold, 55 silver, and 87 coppers.
87?
87. A matching pair of salt and pepper shakers, worth 10 each, or 25 as a set. a blood-stained leather case containing a complete set of thieves' tools.
Do you need to replace your thieves' tools?
Do you need to replace yours?
Yeah, I probably.
A holy symbol of Sylvanus worth 25 gold. And a magic item.
I think I only broke one of them.
Yeah.
Worth 25?
So I'll take this one.
Yeah.
And we both
From
got
the master's magic item table.
Ooh.
Who would like to roll this?
We need to roll.
I'm rolling poorly, so no me.
It's a magical item.
A
I will.
D100?
I have a proficiency in Arcana.
That's just a. I think it's a
Or
this is just a
D100.
Well, you'll be
Generated.
able to figure out what it is with that. But this is just, I'm just saying, would anybody like to roll?
Who's feeling lucky?
Who's the lucky punk?
I am tempted to
I'm
be
going
lucky.
Janice.
Yeah.
Lucky.
41.
Is that your final answer?
Do you want to re-roll that one?
Can I? Oh, can I re-roll the?
That won't make a difference.
No, okay.
Can I re-roll?
What you find is a potion of roll that arcane.
liquid.
Some liquid.
I also have a
stuff.
background.
7.
I
This
have-
is a common one, so it's not hard to figure out. You've
And
seen
I've got
this
a
before.
background in this. Like that's my feature. My background feature is being able to identify unknown substances in bottles.
Between the two of you, this is obviously a potion of healing.
Oh,
You've seen these
thank
before. They're very common at
Goodness.
the alchemist shops. So it'll do 2d4 plus 2. I
Yeah.
believe.
We hand it to Torva to look at, and he immediately looks at it, pops the top, and drinks it.
The
I'm
one
like-
person would want it.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, let me taste
This is a potion of invisibility. See, it's gone.
All gone.
I honestly think you should.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably.
Honestly.
Yeah. Okay, back up to full.
Well, 2d4 plus 2.
Yeah. Oh, 2d4 plus 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There's a 4.
Yay!
Nice.
Oh. So 10 points.
That's
awesome.
nice.
So then that is gone.
It's gone.
That's
And
perfect.
we got
Honestly.
the bottle, though.
You brought the bottle.
You now have an empty bottle.
Oh, you took the thieves' tools.
Yeah, he.
Because he has a set. It's
I'll write
just
that down.
broken one pick.
It's fine.
Yeah.
They typically
I didn't
they
take
have
it away from you.
20
It's just
items.
for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Question. Okay.
So yeah, that's what was in this rusty chest. A couple items, some coins, a now empty vial.
I tucked that away.
So where would you guys like to do or go next?
Continue.
Sorry.
north.
I'll move my.
Well, we might as well continue north into the weird chamber
Sure thing.
and see what's in there.
I think it's a nest.
I think so.
They have a thermostat in here?
Yeah.
Oh, they have. Okay.
So as you enter this
What's the
cave,
Wi-Fi password?
the height of the cave actually extends up a little bit. It gets to be about 10 feet in here. It's not as cramped as it was in those smaller sides. But you walk in, and towards the back is a large seat, and it's been roughly hewn out of the stone. And there's a goblin sitting on there, and he seems more what's extravagant for a goblin. His clothes don't look like ripped, torn leather. He has 2 female guards on either, well, one on either side, and then each one has a chain holding a large rat, giant rat. And the rats are kind of scratching at their chains, trying to get away, or pulling at their chains to get at 6 crazy adventurers who have just wandered into their master's.
I'd like to yell at him as I see him.
Well, before you get a chance to yell at him, he knows you're coming because of all the noise that the large rod
Because I
makes.
just opened
Yeah.
it.
We just
Smell.
looted his vault, you know.
Yeah.
Except for you, which I mean, now you really smell.
You smell like the ogres, but you're not one of the ogres.
I see you've come into my home. Are you here to pay the ransom to get your tall ones back?
Vinny sent us.
Yes.
He,
Vinny said that some
some of the townsfolk may be coming to pay the ransom on their friends.
No, I let him go so he could bring you food.
Yes, it was delicious.
Yeah, you're welcome. He told me that you have many of these humans from the village. And,
Yes, and I expect payment of a gold per huge tall thing. Otherwise, I don't have tall things. I only have food with legs.
So I count that you have like 4 tall things. So 4 gold.
Well, I'll give you 1 for each piece of gold.
For each piece of gold?
There are a great number more than 4.
Oh, you can count.
I am a very smart and great leader of this goblin tribe.
Well,
4.
I think it's a better idea if you just give us the humans. I say very persuadingly.
I think your dog beast is insane.
How many tall folk do you have?
I have a pit's worth.
How many fits in a pit?
All of them.
31. It's higher than you've ever expected a goblin to be able to count.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like,
Doesn't mean you can't count. He just picked a number, but all right.
Yeah, fair enough. So, for 31 gold, you'll let them all go free?
Yes.
so I reach into my pocket and I grab
14,
31
12.
copper while they're doing that, and I go to hand that to him because it looks close.
Roll deception with
You're
disadvantage.
a transmutation wizard. We'd have a deal.
15. 19 and a 10.
You know what the little dragon means? It means I know the difference between copper and gold.
Are you sure that wasn't a 14? So that little
Yeah,
dragon.
the 14's right beside
Isn't
it.
the dragon a 1?
Only when you roll it. The goblin takes your 31 copper. He says, "This is an excellent amount
For 3.
to forget that you have insulted me."
You got 15 gold.
I have
We're not paying.
Oh, why
It'll
not?
be an easy way to get them out. And then once they're out,
Or can you bring them here so that we may count that you have
to
31
verify your number.
Yes.
in his own voice?
We need to be able to
Food only comes out, or tall ones only come out of the pit if they're food or leaving.
Food. Have you eaten any of them?
Not yet.
That's good.
Vinny brought back a great deal of food. We haven't been hungry.
we can start out with 15 and then see how they've been treated.
I have 30 gold.
I have 10, and we just received.
Are we honestly negotiating with these goblins?
I start talking to the in rats.
He starts
I'm from the
jittering.
city, so I just kind of chat with the rats a little bit.
That's awesome.
Can you persuade them?
The rats seem confused to hear chittering out of a bird like this. Like,
I'm the city.
if you could speak Ratanese, you would understand how confused they are.
So since you won't bring the townsfolk out of the pit, take us to the pit so that we may see them and make sure that they're not been hurt. Because if they're not hurt, then we might have a deal. If they've been hurt,
I grab Annika and whisper in her ear, but if we go somewhere else, there may be more goblins.
could there be more goblins anyway?
Yes, but right now we know how many there are.
So as the leader, Hark, gets up, he's like, "I will take you to the pit." Now, take them to the pit. motions to one of his guards. She's got a rat on a chain, and the rat is the size of like a small.
It's a dire rat.
It's a big rat.
A large rat.
Big rat.
Bigger than Tegan.
It is a small beast.
Oh, so it's my size.
You're looking into the eyes.
Just a little small to the amount, but not by
Even a
much.
small rat is a big rat.
Yep. ROUSs.
Yes.
Then take us to the pit. Show us the people.
So he goes back into the back cave there, and then she leads you back out to the main area. And on the other side of the water, there's a kind of pit-looking area. She takes you in there.
Are there other goblins along the way or no?
Yeah.
Not that you see.
So this is the only goblin we have so far?
This might be the only one we've got so far. And now we're at where all the people are.
Push the goblin into the hole. Then we technically don't have to kill the goblin.
So just before you go into this room,
You be quiet. Shh. No noises.
and then she looks specifically at the tabaxi.
All the noises that I would like to make.
And then she walks into the room. So in this room,
There's a tabaxi with his rapier at the back of the goblin.
it is a very deep pit. The pit has about 10-foot high ledges that surround it. Above it, there's different stalactites.
On top, stalagmites on top.
And then in the center of the pit is another hole that goes deeper. And even with your dark vision, you can't tell just how deep it is. There are close to 36 people in the pit. They are huddling there, scared and terrified. I'm not making anybody roll insight to see this level of uncomfortably afraid.
Is it just shy of 36?
Yeah.
Wow, that
It's hard to
goblin
count them all because
Seriously?
there's some small children in there, so they're hard to count because they're being held.
Are they goblin children that we can't murder?
Oh, now you don't have to keep bringing that up.
Oh, you.
We're going to need to check on that alignment later.
He's a cat.
Don't. I'm very close to neutral chaotic.
So the goblin elbows you. Just, and then leaves. Well, she doesn't leave. She goes to the edge. She doesn't want to be in this room, really. She's just making sure that you've seen them. That's what's happening.
Can I tell if she's afraid of something in this room?
Roll an insight.
Yeah, I'd like to know that too.
I follow her out without rolling.
Good one.
That'd be a dirty 20.
I rolled a 12.
Well, with your dirty 20, it is. Yeah, she doesn't want to be in this room. Every step she's taking, she's making sure not to step on anything that might crack or break. She's making sure not to make any noise. When was the last time you saw a goblin concerned about being quiet?
Never.
Definitely. And I've never seen a goblin actually show any kind of caution. So I look around and I go like this.
Yeah, I've seen our prisoners.
So yeah, and it looks like close to 3 dozen.
Okay,
Kind of
And-
lines
and
up with
it's-
what he said.
10 foot deep.
It's a 10-foot deep pit, and then in the center,
You go
there's
deep.
another
There's another
fissure
10 foot.
going much deeper.
so
Oh, even deeper than that.
Yeah, so it's like a stepped pit.
Okay.
So the townsfolk are on this ledge in there, and it's 10 feet to get up to where you are. And then if you were to slip or move into the center, you'd fall into something.
There's no other goblins or anyone else on the dark side in here. Okay.
Nope.
I would definitely
So-
suggest that we pay to get them out.
Hold on. Is there anything around here? Like, how did they get? Can I see anything around here that they got them into? How did they get them down? Is there a rock or any? Is there a rock or anything around?
It's easy
here?
to get people into a pit.
Yep.
It's more difficult to get them out.
Which is why I'm asking. Is there something I can tie a rope to?
Well, yeah, if that's the question, that you could tie a rope. There's lots of rocks in here and places to secure a piece of rope that you could get them out of the pit.
So I look at the goblin and I'm like, let's go out.
And you're already over by the goblin.
Mm-hmm.
So is everybody
I'm
going back to see Boss Man Hart?
As we leave, as we're kind of funneling back out, I've taken out my 50 foot of rope and I've tied it onto a rock and I've thrown it behind me down the pit.
She cuts it. If you try to tie a rope, she's going to
Well,
come
she's
over and cut it.
going.
She's not
first.
leaving you in here by yourself.
Oh. Well, see, that's why I was trying to get her to go up first. I thought she'd lead us out just like she led us in.
I'd say just stealth back in because
Yeah.
they won't notice that there's only 5 of us instead of 6. But
Can I just take a moment in here and I'm going to do a divine sense. That'll tell me if there's any kind of celestial fiend or undead. And it'll tell me the location of them within 60 feet.
So yeah, you can do that.
Okay. I'll use that. Do I sense anything?
There are no celestial fiends or undead in this area.
Okay, that's fair. Has anything been affected by the Hallow spell? I don't think so.
if there was a goblin we could dance time, I would be terrified.
Honestly.
All right, we're leaving.
So she escorts you back to Boss Hart.
I think we just gotta murder her on the way back. Like, kill her in the open here where
And I'm afraid of being double crossed too.
we're just a goblin. No, afraid it's going to happen. So if we can get rid of one.
So they have failed their stealth roll. You hear the sound of a triumphant return.
Trumpets?
Triumphant. Of goblins returning from a successful raid.
Vinny with his bag of cheese.
Yeah.
Vinny's made it back already.
Oh, okay.
But all the goblins you left in town
Yeah, I'm now showing that.
have now returned. And you can't see them, but you can hear the cacophony of joy that they've brought back with them.
There. Well, I'm gonna. Is this one like what's the one in front of us doing?
She's escorting you back to Boss Hart.
Okay, I put my hand on my rapier and I'm trying to pull it out stealthily without her noticing. Because I'm just gonna turn and stab her.
Well, roll a sleight of hand, and anybody else can have a potential chance to
17.
interact as well.
I will not notice him pulling out his weapon.
17.
I've got a feeling I don't notice that, yeah.
Well, you can. Yeah, I guess it would be a passive. So you were going to try to attack her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Plus I'm worried about whatever's in that goddamn pit room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Roll your attack.
15.
Oh, I'm looking at this one. No, that's. I'm going to say that does hit because she's unaware and not using her shield.
Okay.
Just holding a rat.
7 damage.
Yeah.
Oh wait, 5. 8 damage.
You are able to skewer the goblin silently.
Maybe any of us noticed this.
You
The
don't
back and I was
notice
the back with her,
until
so it's just.
yeah, you notice that he's holding her up.
And there's this shiny thing sticking out of her head, just this little tiny end of a rapier.
She had the rat with her. Remember?
No, she wouldn't have brought the rat here because
Okay.
it's hard to tell the
Would have
rat to
made noise,
shut
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell them, but they don't listen.
Not well.
Yeah.
Unless you train them.
I'm shedding.
You're shedding.
I'll have to take you to a groomer.
I know. It's the mange.
Hey, buddy.
Okay.
There's a warm butthole on my toe. It's the dog.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so you've killed our guard friend.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go back in there and just hit them out and just...
Well,
Yeah, I'm going to say you haven't made it.
so we're
much
kind
further.
of here,
Yeah,
So,
still by the water.
I'll say that's kind of about where this has occurred.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take her and just slide her into the water behind us there. Pull my sword out of her skull.
so you go back. Start funneling them out.
Yes.
I would say not, because the goblins are coming back, and these are all civilians.
Yes, you can all hear the goblins
That's right.
They're gonna be back.
returning from the village.
Is there another way out?
I can't see one from here. That looks like the only entrance into here. Because yeah, you two can't see in the dark, so us four can.
Yeah.
Well, she still does have the
Have her
shield
shield.
going.
Yeah.
I can put that out though if you want to hide and let the goblins go back, because they're probably going to end up over there in the feasting chamber. Or
Yeah.
Well, those
Wow,
look
they're
like
probably-
living chambers.
They're probably
And
going
then
back
to the north,
Hark
the living
Yeah.
chamber was King Hark.
to show Hark all the spoils of their
yeah.
raid.
Yeah.
Do we want to
Oh.
hide?
We
Which
could-
might be great because if we get the people out and they're all over there, we can just.
Yeah, or we could hide in that chamber because they don't like to go in there.
Yep. As long
Best
as
place
they're
to hide
super
is where the
quiet.
goblins don't want to go.
Why are they scared of being there?
Well, I don't care. Whatever a goblin,
Something down that hole.
whatever a goblin's scared of is good with me.
Yeah.
The friend of your, what is it? The friend, the enemy of your
My enemy is my friend.
friend. Yeah.
We could
Be an ally, but not a
always, yeah.
friend.
We could always go in there and throw a couple ropes
Yeah.
down.
Let's start doing
And
that.
Yeah.
Go.
Do you guys have ropes?
Yep.
I do.
No, I might have thrown that out. No, I have
A 50-foot length.
Because it's
So
so
I could
heavy.
tie that off
Yeah.
and have two ends off of that.
What pack do you have?
But I was
I've
like,
got
I
climbing
didn't
boots.
say it was a
Storm
compact,
pack.
so like, it's just
With
lighter.
cloth,
yeah,
you know,
you don't-
pitons, and you don't even have to
It's
worry
it's
about
all my
taking it off.
components
Yeah.
for doing my spells.
Yeah, you don't.
Carried weight is.
I don't make you
easier
Yeah.
than
worry about collecting components. It's cool that when you describe them in your spell casting, though.
Yeah, it is.
Tie off as many ropes as we have, I guess.
have.
I would like everyone. This is going to be a group sleight of hand made at disadvantage.
Sorry,
Yes,
guys.
everyone's sleight of hand at disadvantage.
I am so sorry, guys. This is going to go so bad.
Oh no, I get to re-roll that. I'm lucky. Not much more.
13.
My disadvantage roll
So-
is a 15.
9.
Fail,
13.
fail,
6.
fail,
15.
pass,
11.
fail,
9.
fail.
I think we failed.
Here's what thing though. You were rolling to see a success meant you did it quietly. Whether you did it quietly or loudly, you have still brought the people up out of the pit.
Stupid villagers.
Just not quietly.
They're all cheering.
No, they are not. They are terrified.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here.
no, it's
There's
scary.
something in.
We should have whispered.
So they start climbing up out of the pit, and the first few are quiet, and then one of them stumbles and kicks a rock loose, and the rock tumbles down the side wall and down the pit. Kind of like the scene in Lord of the Rings where you dump the bucket down the well.
Is that a hit then?
Who wants to be Batman?
No, not me.
I don't know what that means.
Directly below this cavern is another cavern filled with thousands of bats. Any loud noise in either cavern agitates aforementioned bats. And they explode out of that fissure in the ground, And they want to see what's made the noise. Every creature in this area, so yourselves and all of the citizens, take a point of damage from being beaten and battered with the bats. So that healing
That was a
potion
good idea.
was a good idea.
Yes, it was.
Because there is no save, it is simply taken.
I was about to say, nice meeting you all. Thanks for playing. And
Yeah.
good night. But luckily, that's not the case.
Yeah. That
You
41
can-
was fortuitous.
Only see what's going on in your 5-foot square. And so you are essentially blind as a bat.
Dun, dun.
Oh,
I cast
that's
prestidigitation.
So the bats are clean.
No.
Thank God.
Oh, no rabies, Frost.
Knowing that bats
Don't like
typically don't like sound, I'm gonna make a bunch of really, really loud like crackles and snaps at the back of that cavern to drive them out into this main area.
I'm going to flatten myself and lie prone.
Roll a survival to see if you can get it work. So you flatten.
Mm-hmm. Not that there's much to
11.
Now, if you can force them out of this room into the main center, you're still going to have to get through them to get out. But you can, now that you're
It's a
here,
bigger chamber.
this whole room, like the ledge that you're on, is packed.
Yeah.
Not with bats, but with all the village folk
People.
Yeah.
that you've just rescued from the
Mhm.
People.
But I figure if they're out here, they're between us and the goblins, which might give us a kind of bit of cover, is what my thought. It's kind of like a fog cloud, but it's a bat cloud.
Cloud of bats.
Yeah.
No, that's a smart idea.
Good idea.
So what are you going to do now? You've got, the people are starting to freak out a little bit.
I think I'm shoving people out that
Are there
Away from
to
the
the
edge.
you are all the civilians from the
Nightstone?
town of Nightstone?
Yes. Different.
Do any of you know how to
Family.
fight?
No.
None. Not a single guard in the...
There are a couple guards, as well as the priest of Lathander, but the guards were wounded by the goblins and ogres, and they look like they've been beaten to a pulp. They exist as a living bruise.
Well, that's less helpful.
They can at least
They
help us
protected
usher
the
people out.
people.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make
Let's
sure that
hope now.
nobody's like getting too close to the edge and trying to like
All right, let's
herd them towards the door.
move out into the main chamber.
So the bats are clearing out.
So the main chamber is not as small as the side chamber that you were in. So the bats have dispersed somewhat. You hear the shrieking of the bats as well as the shrieking of goblins. The area is in chaos.
Exactly as we planned.
Let me see your sheet there for a second. I want to see the skills. I need to get those skills. I need you all. We're going to do this as a group persuasion.
Can I use intimidation?
I will allow the use of intimidation or persuasion. Oh, this is Anna. I get to be Anna.
Guys, I got a nat 20.
Hey!
Nice.
But it's in -1.
Group persuasion.
Still an
Okay,
nat 20.
that's okay.
Okay, so
That's great.
this is a group roll. So, Annika,
That'd be 11.
that is a through. Torkin,
I fail.
Nat 20 with the -1.
that will count as 2 successes.
Woot woot.
To capture us.
Ren,
22.
that is a success. Ginny,
8.
that is not a success.
It's all
Jasper.
up to you.
21.
Hey.
As a group, you have had more successes than you have failures.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nat 20.
Yep.
Yep.
And you are able to take advantage of the chaos. The goblins are more interested in either A, getting away from the bats, or B, eating bats.
Or protecting your children.
Because a lot of, in the a lot of the little
Lions.
skulls and whatnot were bones of bats.
Mhm.
You guide the citizens out through the bats and out of the cave.
Keep running.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
we will keep running and head back to town, and I think help them get the town locked up, because I mean, if their guards are all injured,
Can I get a Constitution save from everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there's my 920.
Pass.
15.
Pass.
14.
Pass.
3.
Fail.
6.
Fail.
I'm a little old lady.
60.
Pass. You guys will take a level of exhaustion
Yep.
just from the act of making sure everybody was okay, helping the stragglers. Everybody helps. It exhausts you guys a little more.
I'm 138. This is a lot of running from
And you're
someone my age.
Kevin, you're probably extra tired too because one of the stragglers was the 138-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
No halfling left behind.
Appreciate that.
So you make
Thank
your
you so
way
much, sweetheart.
back to Knight's Stone. The gate is still down. People start to flood back into the town. Thankfully enough, goblins are gone.
Sadly with all their stuff, but
We should probably lock the gates for the night, don't you think?
Yes, and
Probably.
we can, just in case there's any stragglers, I would think we should probably kind of keep an eye out, help the villagers before they go into a house, just checking things out before they go in.
clearing it out.
Well, they assign somebody to. They've got those chains that you can use to bring up the drawbridge, and they send 2 people up there to try doing that. And it's going to take them twice as long because they're exhausted already. But the drawbridge, ever so slowly, does make its way up. The priest of Lathander and the guards say you should make your way to the castle and see if you can get guards down here from the keep.
The keep that's across the broken bridge.
Across the broken bridge.
Okay.
So what happens here in town with all these rocks? We haven't been able to ascertain what
I'm
that
fine with
was.
losing one for that.
It was a fairly clear day. A single cloud rolled through the sky, and it started to rain down boulders. Like boulders, and they destroyed houses. And there's a couple people weeping. They're like, yeah, they killed so-and-so. One landed on my husband who was tending to the field in the back of the house. And a couple of people say, yeah, no one has anybody seen such and such in their family.
Not a cloud in the sky.
We
Just one.
now we heard
And it started to rain 500-pound rocks.
we heard you had an obelisk in the center of town, and that
And
seems to be a hole there now.
They kind of look over in the direction of where the obelisk was, and they're like, it's gone.
So it was here when you guys were taken or left.
Yeah.
Cloud took it.
What kind of cloud would rain down
roll-
stones?
Knowledge Arcana. This is a difficult
Roll.
roll.
Marion Brothers, he
All of
throws.
us are just
Not if you have Knowledge
I don't have
Arcana.
Arcana.
Not me.
If you have it, roll
Not
it.
that.
I don't got
So
it.
you'll get jack of all trades.
15.
9.
Not well.
Not
15 will be high. 9 not enough. You have heard of clouds and sky castles being carried on the backs of clouds, and that might have been this.
I've heard rumors that there have been sightings of cloud castles. Castles that float around in the sky.
They tend to be owned by cloud giants.
And I hear say that there might be giants in them.
Tall folk.
The tallest of the tall.
Or tall folk, yeah.
Can we get some of? I know you guys are trying to get your city back up and running. We do have some soup on in the tavern that we made, so please have everyone get in there, get a nice bite to eat. If you need more, we can help you guys cook some more. But we need some help to build a platform to get across the drawbridge to the keep. If a few people can help us build something quickly, we can get over there, and if there are guards over there, we can bring them back for you.
Rope something to do it?
The townsfolk will get to that point, but they have to. Well, I'm saying we have to kind of get our.
But they were the ones who asked us to get.
They have been stuck in a pit, probably awake for the past 2 days.
Yeah, but that's what I said.
They
Get somebody
probably
to
don't
come
fall
help
really
I
us.
say if you need the one dwarf looks kind of stout. He says if we have supplies, we can probably help you out. But the folk here need to figure out what's going on, what they need to do to resecure and get healthy.
I thought they
again
wanted us
themselves.
to go in there. I thought they just asked us.
They want us
We
to
just
find
go
our
look at the bridge.
If they could do it themselves, they wouldn't have asked you.
We'd have to
Has
take
the
a look
bridge
at
been
the
taken
bridge.
out by a boulder? Or?
The reason we've had to flee to the cave was that the bridge was hit by one of the falling stones, and a 10-foot chunk of it was taken out.
Oh, only a 10-foot chunk? Okay.
That's 3 of
I
me.
can run and jump that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Tabaxi could jump across that.
Yeah.
True. I'm going to do so with some rope.
I do that.
Dear.
I do that in the sleep. Yeah.
The dwarf invites you to stay at the inn, or you want to have a short rest or a long rest at the inn.
Probably a short rest would be perfect.
Probably a
I'm
long
still
rest would
winded
be-
from
A long rest would be good.
A long rest would be good.
The exhaustion will be cured. A level of exhaustion heals per short or long rest. Sorry. And
Let's
that is
have
kind of
down
where
hit
I'm going to call this
points.
session. You successfully rescued the people of Nightstone and dealt with the goblin threat.
and a lot of gold was paid for the ransom.
Mm-hmm. But they
Well,
did lose a lot
30
of their
they did-
possessions.
did take
With some
31
salt and pepper shakers.
They did take 31 copper.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fair pay.
So at the end of this, you guys actually did a lot more than I expected. I didn't think you'd make your way to the Dripping Caves. And when you did get there, I didn't think you'd survive being in the Dripping Caves.
I was close there for a minute.
Oh, that's why I was so keen to pay the goblin, because I was like,
You're not gonna get
The way the module is written is it assumes you're going to finish in the town first, at which point you get a level. And then you go and you deal with the Dripping Caves, and then you get a level. So you guys have leveled 2 times.
yay!
So we get to go up to level 3.
Yes.
Subclass!
Oh, wow.
Subclasses.
So do we get to go back and
Okay, ready for the next one.
destroy the cave?
Are you ready? You already got your levels?
Maybe go to the keep?
As
We
a
got lots of options here.
Yeah.
Gotta find a giant
There are a
obelisk
lot of
that
options,
disappeared.
but this is the end of this session, so I want to just take a second to address our viewers. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Keep an eye on our posts to see when the next session's going to be. We're going to probably try for... This hasn't been enough for 4 viewings, so we're going to try to meet again in maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks to get another session going. So there's lots of content for everybody to view. We'll post the exact time and date of our next session for anybody who wants to join us.
In
And,
case you're confused about what Chris is talking about, we are going to be posting these as 1 hour increments on YouTube.
And on that as well, I'd like to remind everyone, if you hadn't heard already, almost 2 years, and we are now bringing back Winter Gax in 2022. Save the dates, February 4th, 5th, and 6th, as we are returning to the Moose Jaw Cultural Center with all of our amazing activities. Classics like Dungeons and Dragons, a stocked board game, something similar to this, full networked PC LAN area, and miniatures like War Machine will all be returning. That's 2022, Winter Gax, February 4th, 5th, and 6th. Watch our socials and website for registration opening soon.
If you've never played D&D, you just show up. We've got places you can buy dice, and you sign up at a table, and you can come play with us.
We're all very friendly. I promise.
I'm not.
He bites.
My job to kill you guys.
All right, I'm signing off. Good.
Well, Stage Goblin, if you want to sign us out.
Bye!
Bye.
So I threw holy water at the beast and tried to banish it back to the hell it came from. My wife was furious, told me not to treat her mother like that. Huh? Oh! That was episode 4 of Moose Jaw Gamers and No Good Rolls, Just Good Roleplaying. It was previously recorded while streaming on Twitch. Check out their channel for live streams. Please like and subscribe here and on Twitch. You can see the continuation of their adventure in about a week's time.